Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarva Karyeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om, and joyous Hanuman Jayanti to all of you. We welcome you from Niagara Falls. And where do we welcome you to? We welcome you to the Vichara Gurukula. Now, if you think of these words, the word Kula means family. The word Guru means guides. And the word Vichara means reflection. So family that guides reflection. And I'll pick up on this word Vichara some more. Why is reflection so important? A great thinker has written, Avichara krito bandhaha. By not reflecting, one is limited. Vicharena nivartate. By reflecting, one is free. And if you look around right now, there's people from so many different time zones, people from so many different demographics. There's people who have gathered as families and as groups. Fundamentally, we have created a Gurukula with this opportunity and so many other opportunities to engage in reflection. Now, why? If someone cares for a cause a lot, they will bring this to the people. I often think about what people tweet about. You know, some celebrities, they tweet about the toothpaste they use. They tweet about a leaf landing on their windshield and getting stuck in their wiper. You know, they care so much of that they want the whole world to know about it. And don't smile and laugh because you follow those same people. So they care for the cause and they want the people to know this, whether the people want this or not. Yes? Other people, they care for the people so much that they'll bring the cause to them. And here's where I think of our Swami Chinmaya, who shared that he's a hawker for Vedanta, that if people were not going to come to religion, he was going to bring religion to people. And I feel this Vichara Gurukula is following in Swami Chinmayananda's, the dust from his feet. Now, I'm not saying his feet, I'm saying the dust from his feet. He brought Vedanta, he brought religion from the mountains to the cities. And we are doing the same, but going from the cities to your computers. Yes? Why? Let's ask why again. Right now, you may be looking at me as I speak to you, but you also may be looking at yourself. I can tell if you're looking at yourself. And you're looking at yourself and you're thinking, I look pretty good virtually.
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about yourself. Our bodies are approaching near perfection. Approaching. Because our bodies are still being perfected. Some very gross examples of that. Every generation has less hair. Why? Because we don't use hair for warmth anymore. We use central heating. We use sweaters. So all of those who have less hair, that means you're more evolved than those with more hair. I'll be the only one who will share that, correct? Our teeth are flatter. Every generation has flatter teeth. And the reason for that is that we're not tearers anymore. We're grinders. Now, the evolution of this body is unconscious. You can't sit here and will your hair away. You can't grind your teeth sufficiently to make them flatter. We do it unconsciously when we sleep, but right now we can't do that so significantly. And if you reflect on this, that means we have to shift our focus to the evolution of the mind. If the body is evolving unconsciously, that means the focus has to be the mind. And most definitely, the evolution of the mind is not unconscious. It is very conscious. Now, as we go about our study of why is religion being brought to us, first you have to know who you are. I'm going to give you a reference point. There's 4 points on this chart. You have to pick where you are. What kind of mind do you have? So I start. Some of us have plant-like minds. Our only pursuit in life is pleasure or kama. Think of your day today. What drove most of your thoughts? And if it was pleasure, then you are like a plant. You may look like a human, but your mind is like a plant. If I have a plant here and the sun rises there, the plant will go there. And if the sun ends over there, the plant will go there. There's no loyalty. More involved in this, second reference point, is those who have animal-like minds. An animal's mind is always driven towards possession, or in Sanskrit we say artha. Animals mark their territories, correct? Yesterday, we were going to look at an ashram that we're hoping to purchase in London. And there was a dog that was on the property. And it was protecting its territory, if not with its barks, with its eyes, as it was watching each person that was traveling through that ashram. I call it an ashram. It calls it its home, correct? So animals are focused on possession. Third reference point is where we have a human mind. And a human mind is driven towards position or dharma. We're always trying to separate ourselves from the next person, isn't it? How do we do that? By comparing. If you think of dharma as education, why do people go to school? We often go to school for letters to be able to separate ourselves from the next person. So our human minds. And then you go to the highest mind, the fourth reference point, which is a godlike mind. And their pursuit, their evolution is towards moksha or peace. And any pleasure, any possession in their life is only for peace. Now think. It is 7 p.m. Eastern time. From the time you woke up till now, where were you going? And based on that, you'll know what kind of mind you have. This virtual Jnana Yajna is entitled Human to Hanuman. Because most of us have human minds. We're lost in comparing. We're lost in being jealous. We're lost in being insecure. But we want to have a mind like Hanuman, like God. And here's where Swami Chinmaya says, religion is rehabilitation. It is rehabilitation for our potential. We believe our potential is this, but our actual potential is this. And it is religion that helps us to reconcile that difference. Religion is comprised of philosophy and practice. Knowing what to change and how to change, and then the practice is changing. So wherever you are on this chart, whatever your mind is like, over the next 4 evenings, remember, you have to know what to change, how to change, and then change. And for that sensitive mind who knows that there's more to life than what they're experiencing, if there's more to life, there's more to you as well. And that's when religion becomes more real. Human to Hanuman. We should continue? Okay. Who is this Hanuman character that keeps being mentioned? Who is this Jayanti towards? How come we don't have Jayantis? We just have birthdays. How come he has a Jayanti? I was in one home and I'd finished my meal and I was walking to the room I was staying in upstairs, and some families would like to pick up my plate and wash it and so on. So I left it on the counter. And as I was walking up these stairs, they had 2 young boys in their home. So I overheard these boys saying, how come he gets to leave his plates on the table? So who is this Hanuman character? Hanumanji is an example of someone who was ordinary, but by conscious effort became extraordinary. And using specific reference points, when we go into Hanuman Chalisa, when we go into Ramayana, Hanumanji is introduced as the servant of Sugriva, correct? And Sugriva is so great, so Hanumanji is so great. He's a servant. But through his conscious effort, he grows his servantship. He changes his master from Sugriva to Bhagwan Rama. And he goes on to become a savior, no? Aren't you studying in this virtual Jnana Yajna because of Hanumanji? We're looking for someone to save us from living a mundane life. And the most impressive, and I say the most just for emphasis, the most impressive aspect of Hanumanji is that everyone loved him. His friends loved him, his family loved him, his enemies loved him. Nobody pointed a finger at Hanumanji and said, why did he do this? Why was he like this? Even Ravana and the Rakshasas looked at him in admiration that he was able to do what he was able to do. As people study Ramayana, they ask Bhagwan Rama, why did you follow your father's confused message? They looked to Mother Sita, why were you distracted by that deer? But nobody has such questions about Hanumanji. And for all of the people who work with people, if you work with people, people are bound to point fingers at you, isn't it? Bound to question you. And the more people you work with, the more disruption there is. So if you can really tune into this aspect of Hanumanji that everyone loved him, that is who our role model should be. Someone we can relate to. That right now we want people to love us. We want to love ourselves. Hanumanji was able to do that. Sometimes people call Hanumanji a Superman. And I'm not really fond of that terminology, Superman. I like the word superhero better. Now, why? Based on all of the people in our Jnana Yajna right now, who do you relate to more? Who do you like more? Superman or Batman? Think. Superman or Batman? And I'll tell you definitively, factually, that it is Batman. Because Superman has a capability that we can never have. He was born like that. But you see, Batman was not born as Batman. He was born as Bruce Wayne. And he used his resources and time and effort very consciously and became Batman. So he's a hero. A hero is someone we can relate to, someone we can become. You all agree with me now, right? So this is why we are using ourselves as humans and us wanting to become Hanuman. And our guide in all of this is another hero whom we call Goswamiji. Goswamiji, you may not know this, is actually an incarnation of Valmikiji. Goswamiji is an incarnation of Valmikiji. Valmikiji is the one who wrote the original Ramayana. He documented the original Ramayana. And he did this in Sanskrit. And his focus was dharma. His focus was how to live. And Valmikiji himself felt incomplete with this composition. How many of you know how to read Sanskrit? By a show of hands. Okay. So not a lot of people know how to read Sanskrit. Valmikiji wrote 24,000 verses in Sanskrit. That itself is awesome, but he felt incomplete despite that amazing feat. And he felt this is not fulfilling because the emphasis was dharma and the emphasis was not bhakti. It was not how to live. The focus should have been on how to love. And so he himself took incarnation as Goswamiji, and he took Ramayana and wrote it again, where the focus is not dharma, but it is bhakti, on how to love. It is this Goswamiji who also composed Hanuman Chalisa. And I'll tell you the context in which he did this. One day he was very ill, so ill that he thought that he was going to die. And whenever we're ill, whenever we think of dying, then we think of vacations, right? We should have gone on vacation there. We should be in the sun. I really need to eat this before I die. As he was feeling ill and thinking he was going to die, he was thinking about Bhagwan Rama, that I really wish I was with Bhagwan Rama. But he also felt Bhagwan Rama was inaccessible. So how do you access someone who's inaccessible? His or her messenger, their guard. And that is Hanumanji. So he started remembering Hanumanji. And in his remembrance, he recited these 40 verses, which came to be known as Hanuman Chalisa. And through that, he was able to access Hanumanji and access Bhagwan Rama. And Goswamiji became better. This is why in our tradition, when someone has passed away or is not well, we chant Hanuman Chalisa, because this works. And now we've taken it even more deeply that it's not just reactive, at a preventative level now, we chant Hanuman Chalisa. For all of those people who have traveled with me to Bharat, every day we chanted Hanuman Chalisa, specifically during our travels. Yes? As we begin with the Dohas and Chaupais proper, I had mentioned that Goswamiji's focus is on how to love. I want you to feel like you are loved. And I don't mean like as in it's I'm just faking it. You should feel that you are loved. And you should feel loving too. Hanumanji is obviously thinking about you by the fact that you have this opportunity. And you should think not just of Hanumanji, but others who need your love, other people who need help. We'll begin with our Doha. And I know many of you already know these verses, but you may not know these verses in the way that Goswamiji wanted them to be known. Doha 1 and 2, in my interpretation, are a table of contents. They present what the next 40 verses are going to be like. And I'll actually clarify that. They present what the next 36 verses will be like. Because 37, 38, 39, and 40 are a summary. So Doha 1 and 2 is a table of contents. Then you have 36 verses that elaborate on this table of contents. Then 37 through 40 is a summary. And for all of our Bhagavad Gita course students, it's exactly like our study of Bhagavad Gita. And you'll see so much connection to that. Please chant with me. Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja Nijamana Mukuru Sudhari Baranau Raghuvara Vimala Jasu Jodaya Kupalachari. Shri Guru Charana Saroja, which means that, and I'll take each quarter, that the great Guru's feet are like a lotus. In Sanatana Dharma, we love using these examples like lotuses and snakes and ropes and a bird on a tree and so on and so forth. What does it all mean? Every instruction manual in Sanatana Dharma, and you know these instruction manuals, Upanishads, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Ramayana, every instruction manual, and these are instruction manuals on how to live, how to love, always begin with remembrance of the Guru. Do you agree? Of course you agree. This is why you're studying, because you know a guide is needed to know more. And this is not faith-based only. This is quite logical. Everything that you've learned in your life, you've learned from a parent, from a teacher, from a coach. All of those people who know how to sing, I doubt that you were born with that insight on how to cook, how to clean, how to drive. All of those professionals you learned from someone who mentored you. And those are all objective sciences. This is a subjective science that is more faith and less logic. The Guru is someone who shows you that it's possible to live joyously, to live virtuously, to live generously. Otherwise, this is more theory for us. So this is why the Guru is always remembered, because they show us what we're going to study is possible. And the Guru's feet are symbolized by lotuses, because lotuses grow in very dirty environments. They grow in mud, essentially, but they're not dirty. They're not muddy. The Guru is unshaken in a shaky environment. You had a shaky day today. The traffic, finances, war, right? And it shakes us. The Guru lives in the same place but is unshaken, and it's because of Shri. Shri means virtues. They're compassionate, they're disciplined, they're patient, they're loving, they're courageous. So circumstance cannot shake them. Conversely, they shake circumstances. They're game changers. Nija manu mukuru sudhari. We take the dust of this Guru's feet and we put it on our head, on our mind. Why? We place the dust of the Guru's feet on our head because we always remember Bhagwan Rama. Do you remember what the dust of Bhagwan Rama's feet did to a certain someone? This really wonderful person named Ahalya, who was a stone. Bhagwan Rama's feet didn't even touch that stone. It was the dust that broke that stone. And the Guru is the ambassador of Bhagwan Rama. And for all of our Vedanta and Ramayana students, do you remember when Mother Sita and Bhagwan Rama got married? And she was trying to put that garland on Bhagwan Rama, but he was too tall and that garland was too heavy, so she was unable to do it. So now we play that game when we get married too, correct? And then she wanted to prostrate to Bhagavan Rama. She wanted to touch his feet, but she was thinking that the dust of his feet turned a stone into a woman. His actual feet may turn a woman into a stone, so she didn't touch his feet. She just in her heart prostrated at Bhagavan Rama's feet. So we should take that dust and put it on our head because it's a great external exercise in humility. And the more humble we are, the more open we are. Think about the last time you had a conversation with someone who you felt was arrogant. They probably felt you were arrogant too, correct? I had read one quote that said, when you feel you're arguing with a fool, they feel the same way. Isn't it? But really, if you feel that someone is arrogant, that means that they may be hearing you, but they're not listening to you. Anything you say is not going to filter into their personality. But someone who's humble is someone who is open. And the whole vision of our Jnana Yajna is to change, right? So we have to be open. We have to be humble. And another meaning of taking the dust of the Guru's feet and cleaning our mind is to serve the Guru. Because service is upasana. The word upasana is made up of two words. Upa means near. Asana means sit. Right now, if you all came and sat near me, then you would see everyone else, the way I see everyone. And if I sat near you, then I would see me from your perspective, correct? The more you serve the Guru, the more you come to see what the Guru sees. And isn't that what we want? We want to be unshaken in this very shaky circumstance. That comes with serving the Guru. Baranau Raghuvara Vimala Jasu. Baranau comes from the word Varana, which means to describe. We are about to describe Raghuvara, the best in the Raghu family, who is Vimala. Not just pure, most pure, and is known for that. What Goswamiji is sharing here is that we have to prepare ourselves for purity. Now, Hanumanji is most pure. We'll study that with his parents, but are we ready for that? For all of the physicians in our class, all of the nurses, anyone in healthcare, before you engage in any sort of procedure, you have to make sure that the environment is pure, that you're pure, your hands. I remember when I was in high school and I used to volunteer, they made me take a tuberculosis test. I think there's 2 tests before I could have volunteered there, because they want to ensure that I'm going to be working in what they hope to be a pure environment, that I should be prepared for that. We do that with infants too, correct? That if you're not well, don't carry that infant. They may not have their vaccinations. So you're all impressed by how much I know now, correct? About babies to come and infants and so on. So we are about to describe, we're about to contact Hanumanji, so we have to prepare for that. And he is the one, Jo Dayaku, the one who can give phala, the results, chari, the 4 types of results. Now, what are those 4 results? The lowest one is kama, pleasure. More evolved, and I use that very loosely, more evolved, is artha, possessions. More evolved is dharma, position, and really the only pursuit should be moksha, or peace. Why is it that Hanumanji can give us all of this? Now, we've analyzed where our mind is. Suppose we're someone who has an animal-like mind. So we want to have that human mind. Hanumanji can help us be more because he has the experience of being more. So you have to have the experience to be able to guide someone else, right? So many times when people say, you're from Niagara Falls. Like, I don't understand why people don't think Niagara Falls is a place where people live. And they think Niagara Falls is only Clifton Hill, for those who have been to Clifton Hill. There's only circuses and ices and all of that. Like, I never went to high school. I just learned on the streets how to live and so on. Correct? But if you want to know Niagara Falls, then you should ask me. I've lived here. I know what good restaurants to eat at, where to park, etc., how to get free stuff, etc., etc. So someone who's experienced that can guide you. So the same way, if we want to change, Hanumanji's changed so much. So he is the one who can help us. With each verse that we study, I am going to give you one sadhana. One sadhana. So the sadhana, what we can do to change based on this first opening prayer, this first part of the table of contents, is purify. The sadhana is purify. So the next time you chant Shri Guru Charana Saroja, the next time you hear that, what should also open in your mind is purify. Good? We go to the next Doha. Please chant with me. This is actually quite a funny Doha. Did you know that there's a lot of humor in Hanuman Chalisa? Buddhi hina tanu jani ke sumirau pavana kumara Bala Buddhi Vidya dehu mohi harahu kalesa vikara. Buddhi hina tanu jani ke. Hanumanji, you know that I'm someone without a intellect. By show of hands, how many of you do not have an intellect? Do not have an intellect. Good. If your hand is up, that means you don't have an intellect. Because all of us do have intellects. Buddhi hina means we have an intellect, but we forget that we have an intellect. And if you forget you have an intellect, that means you don't or can't use it, correct? That's why it's so important to know about these equipments. If you own a Tesla, but you don't know there's that auto drive, then you'll never use it, correct? I feel even if you do know it's there, still don't use it. This buddhi hina is a word that we hear often. It's like soft insulting of someone. What soft insult do you share towards someone who doesn't think, doesn't use their intellect? Buddhu, correct? And it's soft, right? It is insulting someone. You're a buddhu, but it's soft. So you kind of like being called buddhu. And here, what Goswamiji is saying is that I've forgotten who I am. So I think I'm the tanu. I think I'm this body. I am a forgetful person who just thinks I am this, I am that. Hanumanji, Sumirau Pavana Kumar. You, Sumirau means smarana. Like the word Simran. Sumirau, Simran, Smarana. You are Pavana Kumara. You are the one who is ever vigilant. Now the wind, even at night when the sun is not there, the wind is still there, correct? The sun is not there at night, apparently for us, but the wind is. So that shows that vigilance on this very beautiful word, Sumira or Smarana. It is only when we remember that we can practice. If you don't remember, then you can't practice. In the States, I believe your taxes are due on April 15th, I think. And in Canada, it's April 30th. Now, if you don't remember those dates, then you don't file your taxes, correct? And there are consequences that come with that, isn't it? So you see how important remembrance is. And we all get it financially. If you keep something too long, then there'll be a financial consequence for that. So we never forget those things, but virtual Jnana Yajna, that's happening next month, correct? Bala Buddhi Vidya Dehu Mohi. Hanumanji, give us Bala, Buddhi, Vidya, And when you hear these words, they all sound very similar to each other, isn't it? Bala means strength, fine, physical. Then give us buddhi. But we just talked about we already have buddhi, correct? So what this really means is this mind of ours that keeps forgetting about the intellect. That mind should be joined with the buddhi, with the intellect. That's what that word buddhi means. Isn't that the whole context of Srimad Bhagavad Gita too? Arjuna is separate from Bhagavan Krishna, but Bhagavan Krishna is trying to bring him together. And then Vidya means we have to take this intellect even higher. So Bala means physical strength, Buddhi means mental strength, and Vidya means intellectual strength. All of this strength is most important because harahuka lesa vikara. It is weakness that causes vikara, being lost in change. It is weakness that causes klesha. Kalesa means klesha, that which shakes us, that which causes fear, anxiety, and on and on and on. And why I'm emphasizing weakness, because we create this. We make ourselves weak. And so it's our responsibility to make ourselves strong. That's why we're asking Hanumanji for all sorts, all depths of strength that really he can't take this hardship away from us. We have to stop making this so hard. It's such an empowering table of contents. The responsibility is ours. And your sadhana for the second Doha, your sadhana is know, K-N-O-W. So purify, know. We move to the first Chaupai. Please chant with me. Jai Hanuman Jnana Guna Sagara Jai Kapisate Huloka Ujagara. And now with the next 36 Chaupais, I'm going to introduce two more aspects to how this Hanuman Chalisa will unfold. For each Chaupai, I'm going to tell you a Puranic episode relating to Hanumanji. Okay, so it's something that you can remember, this incident of why this Chaupai has to do with Hanumanji. And I will also relate a adhyatmic aspect to each Chaupai. How does it relate to you? Okay, fine, it relates to Hanumanji, but what about me? So now there's three aspects. Puranic is Hanumanji, adhyatmic is you, and the sadhana. How do I change? Jai Hanumana. Man means someone who has. Buddhiman, correct? Someone who has an intellect. Shriman, someone who has virtues. Shriman doesn't mean male. Shriman doesn't mean Mr. That's why we've taken Shriman and made it Mr. Shriman in its deepest meaning means someone who has Shri, virtues. And Hanu, please point out Hanu to me. See how interesting it is that you chant Hanuman Chalisa 10 times a day and you don't even know what that name means. Hanu means chin. So Hanumana means the one who has a chin. So apparently all of us are also Hanuman, but please note I'm saying apparently. His chin is different than ours. He's much stronger here than we are. And I will tell you more about that on our last evening, about how Hanumanji broke his chin. Okay, but Hanumana means someone who has a chin. Jnana Guna Sagara. He's someone who has knowledge and virtues that are as infinite as the ocean. Jaya Kapisha. And we'll pick up on this. What does Kapi mean? Monkey. And Isha, the lord of the monkeys. Now, what's so interesting here is when we begin Ramayana, who is the Lord of the monkeys? Vali is, isn't it? Not Hanumanji. And then shortly after that, who becomes the king of the monkeys? Sugriva, not Hanumanji. And if you see another change in king relating to this, it is Vibhishana. Vibhishana becomes the king of Lanka. At no point is Hanumanji the king at all, correct? Neither of the monkeys, neither of the people in Lanka. But here it says he's the Lord of the monkeys. And why that's shared is that he's not the king, he's the kingmaker. He made Sugriva the king. He made Vibhishana the king. That shows that he's even greater than the king, no? We say like someone who's a rainmaker. The rainmaker is greater than the rain, no? So this is what the word kapisha is bringing about at a Puranic level. Tehu loka ujagara, and everybody knows you in all of the worlds. Okay. Everyone tune into the Puranic sense, what Hanuman means, what kapisha means. Now we go to the adhyatmic sense. What does jnana mean? What does jnana mean? You're going to say knowledge. Then I'm going to say vijnana. What does that mean? More knowledge. Whenever you have these two words, jnana and vijnana, or here we have jnana and guna, you have to treat them as one is theoretical, and so naturally the next one is application. Hanumanji has a theory and he applies this. Jnana is the theory, vijnana is the application. Now, if you remember, what did I say religion is? Religion is the philosophy on what to change, how to change, and then what did I say? And then practice. It is changing. So he is jnana guna sagara for us. Tirelessly, we have to study philosophy and practice what we're supposed to change. That sagara means endlessly. Swami Tejamananda often shares, the road to perfection is always under construction, no? Only the perfect people are the ones who are not on this road. Jaya kapisha. I'm going to open this word kapisha more. Ka means joy. Ka means joy. And P-I means pibati. So kapi at an adhyatmic level means someone who drinks up joy. Someone who's thirsting for freedom. So not just Sugriva or Hanumanji as kapis. Who else should be kapis? All of us too. We should be kapi also. And that shows Jaya. In the Swayamvara of Mother Sita, what was she walking around with? Was she walking around with Bhagwan Shiva's bow? What was she walking around with? That Jayamala, correct? And that Jayamala, she was going to put on to whoever she felt was most important. So this word Jaya emphasizes importance, emphasizes prioritization. Someone becomes a kapi, someone who thirsts for joy, they make peace important. That's where this word Jaya comes in, whenever you see that. So Jaya Kapisha, we should make thirsting for joy, following joy, important. It should be the lighthouse of our life. Tehu loka ujagara. We always remember happy people, correct? If you ever go to a party and you see someone who's just radiating that joy, and when you leave that party, do you remember the dress someone wore, or a drink someone had, or a conversation someone was engaged in? Or do you remember that really happy person who made you feel happy? See, that's why this Tihu Loka Ujagara, everyone in the world remembers Hanumanji. Fine, but what does it mean to you? It's remember happy people, and you will be remembered if you're a happy person. Okay? Now, the sadhana for this first Chaupai is quite obvious. The sadhana for the first Chaupai is prioritize. Prioritize. What was the first sadhana I gave you? Purify. Everyone's reading their notes. I just gave you 3. What was your second sadhana? No. And now your third sadhana? Prioritize. Okay, we continue. Number 2, let's chant together. Second Chaupai. Rama Duta Atulita Baladhama Anjani Putra Pavana Sutta Nama. Rama Duta, you are the ambassador, the messenger of Bhagavan Rama, and you are Atulita, which means you are the highest strength. You are the abode of the highest strength. You are the son of Anjani. You are the son of Pavana. So let's study this Pauranically. And I'll focus more on this next year. So you'll have to develop the virtue of patience. But I'll just tease you with this aspect of Hanuman Chalisa and Ramayana. There is millions of beings, of animals that were in search of Mother Sita. Millions went north and millions went east and millions went west, and not millions went south. The ones that went south actually each had a name. Jambavan, Angad, Hanumanji, etc. And out of those, the last one to bow down to Bhagavan Rama was Hanumanji, no? And Bhagavan Rama told Hanumanji, when you meet Mother Sita, give her my ring. And you still believe in free will. When the last person to go was Hanumanji, Bhagavan Rama gave him his ring, that when you meet Mother Sita, and we think, oh, he worked hard for all of this. And Hanumanji was standing on the shore of Rameshwaram. And everyone was saying they want to help, but they don't know how to help. And Jambavan is Lord Brahma. He sees Hanumanji's hesitation. And then he whispers in Hanumanji's ears, don't you know your only purpose is to serve Rama? And Hanumanji lit it up then. He expanded his body, started roaring, and he took off to Lanka. He was Rama's Duta. And not just in Lanka. I can give you 1,000 incidents about this, but just one more. When Bhagavan Rama was devastated that his brother Sri Lakshmana, you've all heard me share insights into Sri Lakshmana was that person in Ramayana who never allowed himself to get sick. For all of the people in our Vedanta and Ramayana class, this is what I'll be emphasizing this Sunday. But he got sick too. And Bhagavan Rama has never seen this before. And he could only think of Hanumanji to change all of this shakiness that's happening. So he was Rama's Duta because of his strength, because of his independence. He went to Lanka by himself. He went to Sanjeevani by himself. But now you have to connect this more. And he was able to do all of this because he is the son of Anjani. Now this word Anjani is very deep. I had read somewhere that Anjana, okay, we'll take the word Anjana, it's all the same. Anjan means impurity. And then actually Na means where there's no impurity. Okay, so his mother is someone who has no impurity. And now his father is Pavana. You know when you're sitting in a car with someone and they're a close talker. And it's been a long day. And as they're talking closely, you're hearing them, but what else are you doing also? You're smelling what they had just eaten, correct? And so what do you do in that circumstance? As they're speaking to you, you look straight, right? If they're the driver, you just keep looking straight. So it sounds and not smells. And if that's still not being reconciled, then you open the window, correct? And Pavana comes in and fixes that whole circumstance. Even though it's winter outside, the windows, oh, it's hot in here. I need that window open outside. So again, that Pavana emphasizes that purity, okay? So now I'm going to bring this to a adhyatma level. So please pay attention to this Chaupai especially. Purity is strength. All of the people who are wearing diamonds right now, the purer your diamond, the stronger it is, literally, which is why you paid more for it. The same goes with gold, right? Purity is strength, strength is value in a worldly way. But now we have to start this Chaupai by Rama Duta. What does Rama mean? Rama means joy. Yes, Rama means joy. Now, how do you get to joy? Through jnana pramana. In other words, knowledge. And how do you get knowledge? Chitta shuddhi, or purity. It is his parents, in this case, really shows that his nature is purity, which is why he understands knowledge, which is why he is close to Bhagavan Rama. So in this one Chaupai, we study the whole trajectory of how our study should be. We should live lives that make us more pure, then knowledge will become more real, and we will experience joy. Did you know that that's what that Chaupai stands for? We just look at Hanumanji as big muscles, and these are his parents. Okay, next. And we fly through it. Let's see how fast we can chant Hanuman Chalisa. The sadhana for Chaupai 2 is strengthen. The sadhana for Chaupai 2 is strengthen. Let's chant Chaupai 3. This is a huge zip file of a Chaupai. Mahavira Vikrama Bajarangi Kumati Nivara Sumati Ke Sangi. Okay. Right in the first portion of this Chaupai, there are 3 names given about Hanumanji, and each of these are huge. So start to tune into this. What does Vira mean? Vira means great. Okay. But this is Mahavira. Maha here means someone who's great in 5 ways. This is an excellent subject to think about, to speak on. So here are these 5 areas of greatness, and I'll start from the lowest to the highest. To become a Mahavira, you have to be Ranavira. You have to be great in battle. Is Hanumanji great in battle? Yes, and there's endless examples of that. I'll just give you one at a Puranic level. When he landed in Lanka, who was the first person that he saw? Lankini. He saw Lankini. And at that time, Lankini said, "Hey, thief, what are you doing here?" And Hanumanji said, "I'm not a thief. I'm here to bring back my master's wife." "Then I guess your master's a thief too." And Hanumanji was being okay with him being called a thief, but when she called Lord Rama a thief, he gave her one pow, one blow. And then what happened? She realized that her master's a thief. See, now he's Ranavira here because he never killed her. He taught her. Swami Prakashananda says he gave her satsang. You know, satsang sometimes comes with a blow. It comes with that gada, which we'll study tomorrow. So Ranavira. Greater than that is Dharmavira. Someone who is great with their responsibilities. And Hanumanji obviously was someone like that too. That even when Bhagwan Rama left this world, Hanumanji stayed to do his work. Deeper than that is Danavira. Someone who's great when it comes to generosity. Did Hanumanji ask for pay when he helped Bhagwan Rama? Did he ask to be in Bhagwan Rama's family picture? You know, when we take pictures of volunteers and teams, you know, so many people are always eyeing the people in those pictures. They shouldn't be there. I should be over there. That's why you're doing all of this work, to be in that picture. So he was Danavira. He was generous by nature. Higher than that, Vidyavira. He is great when it comes to knowledge. Have you ever seen Hanumanji doing japa? You sometimes see icons of that. And what is he writing on that? Ram, joy. You know what the most impractical way to live is? Unhappily. Isn't it? The most impractical way to live is to live sadly. And the most practical way to live is joyously. Sometimes you hear people chant, sad Guru, Sachi, right? So sad, but joyous. It's not sad, it's Sad Guru. Someone who's joyous. That's why they are a guru. And now the greatest greatness is called Dayavira. Someone who is great when it comes to compassion. Isn't it? You know, when you're getting a parking ticket and you tell that meter person, I just was doing whatever and I just got here, and they say, no worries. Dayavira. How grateful you are in that moment for that compassion, right? Hanumanji's compassion is that you and I get to study this right now. Okay, so what was at the bottom? Ranavira. Great in battle. And greater than that, great in responsibility. Greater than that, great in generosity. Greater than that, great in knowledge. And the greatest out of these 5 is great in compassion. If you have these 5, you're allowed to call yourself Mahavira. Okay? Don't go tomorrow and say, Vivekji gave me the authority to call myself. You change your screen name to Mahavira. So that I gave you one name, okay? Next name is Vikrama. Krama means steps. Vishesha, the one with great steps. I had read somewhere that Hanumanji didn't fly to Lanka, he stepped to Lanka. He didn't fly to Sanjeevani, he stepped to Sanjeevani. Another name for Vamana, Bhagavan Vishnu's incarnation is Vikram. And Bajrangi. What language are we studying right now? Sanskrit? Hindi? Miscellaneous? It's called Avadhi Bhasha. The language of Avadhi. Avadhi was spoken where? In Ayodhya. Ayodhya. So it is a dialect of Hindi. So Bajrangi is actually Vajra Angi, the one who has limbs or a body like the Vajra. Now tell me, what does Vajra mean? Vajra means thunderbolt. And what civilization, what character also has a thunderbolt? Came from Sanatana Dharma, correct? So, Vajra is known as a thunderbolt, but you know, thunder you can't see. I like to interpret this as lightning bolt. Okay? So you can interpret it the way you want, but I'm right. So this is a lightning bolt. Now, what does this all mean? Bajrangi, I'm going to hold for you, and I'm going to take up in the coming discourses. But that's what it means literally. And the next line means kumati nivara, the one who pushes away. Mati means mind. Ku means bad-minded. Pushes away those who are bad-minded. And sangi brings towards us sumati, those who are good-minded. Okay. That's from a Puranic level that Hanumanji created satsang wherever he went. At an adhyatmic level, and we'll finish with this thought. When you have these 5 greatnesses, what if they're directed towards the ignoble? What if you're great in battle, but in viciousness? What if you're generous towards bullies? What if you have compassion towards terrorists? You know, you can have these 5 greatnesses, but they're going in the wrong direction. It's a problem. It's an intense problem. Here's where Swami Tejomayananda explains, even higher than Mahavira is called Paramavira. Paramavira means someone who uses these 5 aspects of greatness, but directed towards the infinite, directed towards Bhagwan. Then that is Paramavira. So now for all of us, we obviously should have these 5 greatnesses, but directed where? A direction towards the highest, direction towards the deepest. Paramavira. And Kumati Nivara, Sumati Ke Sangi. I know many of you quite well. We've known each other for a long time. We've traveled together. I've stayed in your homes. We've learned together. Many of you have changed. From the time I met you in, say, 2008 to now 2017, you've changed. And as you changed, haven't your shopping habits changed too? Some are saying no. And more deep than that, hasn't your friend circle changed? Some of you study with me 3 times a week. I know, it's so burdensome, right? But isn't it that the more that your life is revolving around satsang, the more those friends who don't challenge you, those friends who are more interested in pleasure, they just naturally fade away. Has this happened? And you don't have to make a big deal of it. You defriend them on Facebook and you block them. I do satsang, you don't. It's not like that. It's a very natural process that if you bring light, you don't have to take a shovel and push darkness away. It just happens. So for us, we have to remember that we are influenced people. The people you work with influence you, right? The sevaks and sevikas around you influence you. I see that in so many centers. Even though we have so many Chinmaya mission centers, each center has its own culture. Positive culture in each city. And it's because there's one person there that influences another person. I've seen this in our Vedanta courses also. Now, I came back 10 years ago from the Vedanta course in August. I'm like Raja Dashrata right now. Yamaduta is coming towards my ears, telling me that death is near. So I see that the shishyas, the disciples, often become like their resident acharyas. I see the way they speak, their mannerisms. And that's why I like to show off that I studied from Guruji. And that will be the last Vedanta course that he's taught. Anyways, we are influenced people. And if we're influenced, that also means we are influential. And if you really want to love someone, then that means that you should become Paramavira and you can influence someone. The sadhana for our 3rd Chaupai is associate. Associate. So now we have 5 ways to go from human to Hanuman, and we shall continue in the coming evenings. I'm going to chant Om once, and then we'll shift to our discussion. Nara.